Last year, our business did $149 million in revenue, and this year we're gonna do a lot more than that.
Look what you had done. Playing with my feelings got me thinking you the one. I swear you're doing all of this just to have some fun. When I saw the
boys and girls, men and women, right now we're about to meet up with Zane. Zane makes millions, hundreds of millions of dollars a year, but he wasn't born into wealth. He had to build everything from the ground up. Right now we're gonna go meet the man, get a crib tour, because you already know if it's this SnewJ video, we gotta get a crib tour, pick his brain, and he's gonna give us the story of how he built everything, literally from ground zero, no help, to be where he's at right now. Also, just want to remind everyone, I want you guys to grow. I want you guys to succeed. That's why I have a private community for y'all with like-minded individuals. We have multi-millionaires in there, entrepreneurs, where we all get to learn from each other. We have live coaching calls every week from successful individuals. Whether you want to start a business, get into real estate, learn how to trade stocks like a pro. We have a coach that manages over $10 million in stocks. So whatever you want to get into, whatever field, this community is just for you. Remember, you will not level up in this life if you do not surround yourself with people that are doing better than you. Click that link in the description below. Let's get this video started.
All right, y'all. Here we are. Dang, he had a whole floor to himself, huh? There he is.
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing, brother?
The man.
Awesome to see you,
The
man.
myth, the legend.
I just put a body kit, forged carbon whip.
I've been seeing you all over social media, man.
I appreciate you guys coming down to Miami.
Of course, yeah. Damn, look at this. Bro, what is going on here?
Crazy view, huh?
Right now, I'm seeing views for days. How much you pay for rent here?
$34,000 a month.
34,000?
Correct.
What do you do?
I run one of the largest U.S. solar companies.
Okay. And you built it from the ground up, or what's going on here?
$0, zero investors, just some of my best friends building a company together. It does hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And the biggest thing with the company is I did it all by myself. So how I started was I started knocking doors, literally just like this. Knocked on a door, was like, hey, do you want to buy solar? Worked at one of the largest solar companies.
Yeah.
Became one of the best sales reps in the nation.
Wow.
But even before that, I grew up with two immigrant parents. My dad was a taxi driver. My mom worked retail in layaway stores.
Yeah.
They both barely spoke English, and we grew up in a 500 square foot apartment in the hood. So,
Damn, where's the hood at?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay, so you're from Boston.
Yeah, I grew up in Boston. I then lived in LA, and then now I live in Miami for taxes, of course.
What's your nationality?
I grew up in different, my mom's Pakistani.
Okay.
My dad's Jordanian, but I grew up here. So I came here when I was 6 months old, and I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
I go back and stuff, so I'm obviously from there, but my entire life is born up in Boston, so I kind of say I'm from Boston.
No, I feel it because because Pakistani, because my dad's from Bangladesh.
Oh, very
so I'm
cool.
like, we're kind of the same. In a way.
Yeah,
But,
for sure, man.
Hey,
I want brothers.
Yeah, I want to dive into your story a little more, but can we check out this crib, bro? Because
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
She said, run it back, say you like that, body intact, head like you ran.
What's the square feet?
This is almost 4,000 square feet. Over here we got a guest room, so this is just like the guest bathroom. I got some art up on here.
This is fire.
Yeah, there's just the guest bathroom, so if I ever have anyone staying over and stuff like that, they obviously have a good spot.
Bro, pay attention to the detail.
Yeah.
Look at this.
It's nice, man. It's nice.
It's really nice.
If you like this, you're gonna like the master. And here's my guest room. My dog's in there.
Okay, for sure.
We're not gonna open that up right now.
Why is it a family-friendly dog?
No, it's a small little dog. It's just, I want to ruin the video. In here, just another laundry room, bathroom.
Okay.
And then, yeah, man, this is the office. So I just do my work in here. It's chill.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously you got the view in the background, so people see that on the screen. Every time I'm doing a video or something like that, I'm on a meeting, people always think the backdrop is fake because you just see like the ocean.
Yeah, this is little. Check this out, guys.
Yeah.
Come here, Zeke. Look at this view, bro. This is just only one part of it.
Correct.
There's hella view ropes here.
Now we'll show you the master.
Okay.
Ooh. So in here we got the dining room, we got the kitchen, we got
goodness.
my living room, and you can see all of this. So over here you basically see Sunny Isles, Aventura, that entire area. So you kind of see the city. And then on this side, it's just pure ocean, man. You go 40 minutes that way and you're in the Bahamas, so.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, man, yeah, it's crazy.
This is amazing. You like the Hermes, I see?
Everything, man, everything. Everything.
I like this.
Yeah, honestly, I just had a designer come in and do all of it. I haven't really, I'm not crazy on it, but
How old are you, by the way?
27. So yeah, no, over here, man, this is same thing, just sleep here. got a crazy view, so it's really like a 360 apartment with tons of glass. And then in here, man, yeah, we got the bathroom, brother.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So you got this over here. Take a shower here every morning. You get this beautiful view.
Wow.
Yeah, man. It's a king's lair. I'm always traveling, honestly, man. So this is this is where I come to relax for maybe a week or two out of the month, but I'm usually on the road, man. So I have offices all over. I have 5 offices in California. I have an office in Arizona. I have an office in Texas. Then I have an office in Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
So I'm kind of traveling all over. And then I'll go overseas. I do some projects overseas too. So, and a lot of people, I'm sure you've interviewed tons of people, they have different personality types.
Yeah.
For me, I love to work. Like, I'm all about work. I grew up with nothing. So the ability to be able to work is a God blessing for me.
Yeah.
I feel really good about it. So every single day I wake up, man, I just get right to it. And I kind of just let the day take me where it goes. I have meetings come up, different fires in the business. I have good stuff happen. I got to go meet with different companies, strategic partners, different employees in my company.
Yeah.
I just came back from a 4-day leadership retreat. So I'm always doing different things with my team, but almost my entire day is working, man.
Yeah, so that's your reason why, and that gets you going. That gives you purpose,
Yeah, man, I just feel like if I stop working, and I've done it before, don't get me wrong, man. I've traveled all over Europe. I've been all over the Middle East. I've been to Asia. I've been to many different countries across the world. And every time I leave or I go on a quote unquote vacation, I always feel like coming back because I just want to work, man. I get kind of tired of that. And when I'm working, I'm the most energized and I feel really excited and happy about what I do. So
the same way with me, like when I go on vacation, this and that, you get really like bored with life, like you got to be doing something. You have to be continuously like leveling up and getting better and learning and experiencing. So
so yeah, again, this is the kind of dining room. I never actually eat here, but
wow,
this is where the real magic happens.
Look at this.
Yeah, man. So
oh my God,
this crazy view, brother. The ocean.
Damn, bro, this is kind
of. If you want to be scared, just look down, bro.
Holy
Put the camera down there and don't drop it.
I swear he can drop it.
The first thing I ever did was I invested in a view. Before I got a car, before I got a house, before I did anything, I was like, forget about even living. It's just the view. Yeah. Being able to wake up and look outside at the view. So I didn't want to watch. I didn't want to go out there and ball out. I didn't want a crazy ass chain. I just wanted a view. So I went and I found the best condo, and it was the Ritz-Carlton in LA.
Yeah.
Had an unbelievable view of the city of Los Angeles next to the Staples Center. Lived there. I was 21, 22 years old, really young, on the come up, making it happen. And ever since I moved in there, every single month and year, I would just level up. And why? Because I wake up, I look at this view, I see cities, I see the building, I see cars, I see people hustling and bustling, and you're like, dude, I want to wake up and I want to get my moving. Because where I grew up, I saw nothing. I just saw a brick building. I would literally open up my door where I grew up, and you just see a brick building outside. And then I decided to get out of that environment. I moved to an okay apartment in California. I'm still on the rise. I make my first 6 figures. I'm starting to make my first money. And then when I made my first 7 figures, I was like, first thing I'm doing is I'm getting a view.
Hell yeah.
Let's take a drive. 1222, yeah, I'm outside.
This one's mine. The G-Wagon's mine. And then I have a Rolls Royce coming too.
Okay, so this is your Urus.
Yep.
Okay, and there's
it's all
your
dirty. I'll show you inside real quick. That's the, you know what I mean, the crazy look.
Hell yeah. Look at that.
This one's a brand new one. The 290, I think?
290?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. Bringing it over.
All right, so this is yours too, huh?
Yep.
The G-Wagon?
Yes, sir. I honestly don't drive this car at all.
Really?
Yeah, I let my girl drive this. Yeah, I let my girl drive it.
I'm gonna guess like 350.
No, it's not that much.
Okay.
This one was like probably 210 or something like that. I got this one for close to 500.
Jeez.
Yeah, so this is the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. This is the Black Badge edition, so
I'm having this feeling that everyone in Miami, if you don't have a Cullinan, you ain't doing it. Huh?
Yeah,
like, that's just, bro. If you watch Zain on IG, you would never expect like, what, this guy got a Cullinan?
Bro, I don't show my really. I don't show my.
Bro.
I got the stuff, but I don't show it, dude.
So crazy.
Yo, I literally don't drive this, bro. Like as you can see, like look at this, bro. Fucking Zane, bro. Fucking dust, bro. This is what I mean, bro. Like this will stay in a garage for months, bro.
Guys, I'm looking at his view, and it is I've never seen a view like this in my life. Like not even at like the best hotels I've been at. Like this is crazy. You told me at the door you built all this from ground zero.
Yeah.
You weren't born into wealth. Kind of like tell me about your come up.
Yeah, so I came to this country at 6 months old.
Okay.
My parents literally had nothing, so they didn't speak English. They had no connections here. So the first house we ever lived in actually was the basement of someone else's house. So we lived in a basement, a small little room, 1 bedroom, just me and my parents. I'm a single child.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So I lived there. Then my parents saved up enough money to be able to move into our own place, and that was government assisted housing. So we lived in a 500 square foot apartment right outside of Boston. And I grew up there my entire life pretty much, man, just working, hustling, grinding. And the biggest problem I always faced was I wasn't good at school. I wasn't traditional. I always got kicked out. I hated school. I hated my teachers. I didn't like the authority. I was bad at everything I did. I wasn't horrible at tests if I just put my focus, but I never put my focus, and I never went home and studied anything. I would just go home and mess around. And then one day I started seeing people do drugs. So I was 13 years old. So I was like, let me see what this thing is. It was kind of intriguing to me that people were doing something that was a little outside of the norm.
Yeah.
So I smoked my first ever blunt of weed when I was 13 years old. I also sold my first ever ounce of weed when I was 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then I got into drug dealing. So that was early on at 13 years old.
I didn't even know that you got into that.
Yeah,
That's
man.
crazy.
No, I was a completely different person, man. I was extremely unethical. I would sell drugs. I would steal. I wasn't proud of the person I was.
Yeah.
And then at 16 years old, my mom had a brain aneurysm, basically a stroke. She was in a coma for over a year, and then she was in rehab for like another year or two. So my entire life was just consumed by my mom being sick and taking care of her and having to teach her English again, having to teach her how to walk and move and drive again and understand how everything works. So that really changed my life. It was a pivotal moment for me.
Did she have a full recovery? Or?
Yeah, she had a full recovery,
man,
and she's
God,
good now.
bro.
It was bad. It was really bad. One thing that she always told me, and she made very clear, is, Zane, if you're going to be successful, you have to go to school, you have to go to college. Just that traditional immigrant mentality.
Yeah.
Now, I had no grades to get into college, and I wasn't going to go to a community college. I just didn't want to. I thought it was pointless. So I was like, if I'm going to go to college, I want to go to a good school, but I don't have the grades, number one. Number two, I don't want to do this thing, but my mom really wants me to. Normally I wouldn't have gone, but she was just going through this stage of just getting really sick, obviously being down, and I wanted to be the positive light in her life. So I made a decision one day, and I said, I'm just going to go for her. So I dropped everything that I was doing, and I just put my intention in making her get better and getting into college. And I wrote a crazy essay. I had no business getting into the school I got into.
Yeah.
I wrote a crazy essay and just told my story. I was honest about drug dealing. I was honest about stealing. I was honest about the story with my mom and my family and my upbringing. But I always knew that I wanted to be successful. And I ended up making a decision one day where I basically said, I'm going to do this thing. So I get into college somehow.
Which college was it?
It was the University of Rhode Island. So it's a small state, but it's a huge party school in Rhode Island. So I was like, if I'm going to go, I'm at least going to party.
Yeah.
And then I got to college, and then it was the same exact thing. I just got into partying. Wait for this helicopter to go by. It's going to be loud as
Man, you're the same height as that plane, bro. That's how
Bro,
high
sometimes helicopters go like eye level here. Cardone always drives his helicopter down here. Every day almost.
God,
I go to college just to party. I didn't want to do anything else there other than party and meet people. And I was just there for my mom.
Yeah.
So I went there for a year, and I just partied every day. I promoted clubs and bars, promoted parties, and I just was sick of myself. You know, I got back into the same old bad habits. And one day I just literally, it's out of a movie or a book. I just looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I no longer want to be this person that just sits there and is selfish and consumes all of this stuff but doesn't take care of the people around them. I want to be a man. I need to take care of my family. I need to create a legacy. So I looked at myself in the mirror. I went sober that day. I was like, I'm never going to touch all these drugs I'm doing. I'm going to stop all this stuff.
So you're sober till this day? Or?
Correct. I mean, I'll do little stuff here and there. I smoke my cigars and whatnot. Nothing crazy.
You still smoke marijuana? Or?
No.
Wow.
Oh yeah, no. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't do anything that I feel like impairs with your ability.
Do you think marijuana is like? Have you met ultra successful people that smoke marijuana, or do you think it's something that hinders them?
Yeah, it's not that you can't be successful and smoke marijuana, weed, etc. It's Are you going to be able to maximize your full potential is how I look at it.
Yeah.
Can I be successful smoking weed? Yes. Can I be successful doing drugs? Yes. But can I be as successful as I am doing it? Can I reach my full potential? Can I maximize it? No. So you have to ask yourself the question, because if you have a God-given talent, you're still going to be successful. The real question is, do you want to go 90% or do you want to go 100%?
Facts.
And I just want to go 100%.
That's true. Yeah.
So at that point, man, I just decided to drop out of school, and I got recruited to basically do door-to-door sales. And
how old were you at this time?
18 years old. So I was 18,
Wow.
becoming 19 years old, actually.
Okay.
So going into my 19th birthday is when I like really made the first decision to start selling.
Yeah.
And stop doing all the illegal, stop doing all this hustles on the side, and go all into something real. And I started door-to-door sales.
Okay.
Now, what was cool about door-to-door sales was it's one of the most uncomfortable things that you could ever do.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, you're
Yeah.
knocking on a door. The person on the other side doesn't know who you are. They might be scared of you, especially like me. I'm a big dude. I'm 6'2". So when they see me at a door, especially if it's like 6 or 7 p.m., people freak out sometimes.
Yeah.
So you got to like really understand people. You got to be charismatic. You got to read different situations, and you really need to learn how to sell people.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you can learn how to sell someone door to door, you could sell them in any other method of sales. So I always had that in the back of my mind, and I knew there was a lot of successful billionaires that at one point in their life, starting up in their careers, they knocked doors.
Yeah.
So I embraced it, and I became the best door-to-door salesman in solar. And I got recruited by a company called Solar City.
Okay.
Today it's known as Tesla. It's Elon Musk's company.
Oh, wow.
And I worked there, became the top sales rep. And then I got recruited by another guy. Basically, he said, Zane, you're an unbelievable salesperson. I want to give you equity in a business, and I want you to come and work with me. So I went to another company. I got equity in that business.
Okay.
I go from just being a salesperson there to becoming a chief revenue officer, leading 100 plus employees, and we built a decently sized business. Then one day I was looking around at my business partners, and I'm like, these guys that are leading the company, the CEO of the company and the CFO of the company, I didn't believe in their vision. I didn't think that they wanted to go that long term.
Yeah.
I thought that they were in it for the short term wins, but I didn't see them in it for, the next 50 or 100 years.
Yeah.
And everything that I do in my life, it's always long term, and it's always to do it forever. I never ever enter something if I'm going to do it short term. I'm an all in type of person. I'm either all in or I'm all out.
Yeah.
I'm binary. I'm choosing one of the things.
Of course. Yeah.
So business for me was all in, and the residential solar industry was everything for me, because when I got into this industry, I basically was like, I need to give people power. I want to go around the world, and I want to give people electricity, and I want them to own and control all of their electricity.
Yeah.
I don't just want them to be reliant on the government or some corrupt third-party electricity company. I want them to own their own power with solar and battery technology.
Yeah.
So that's exactly why I got into solar. Ended up building that company, decided to leave and just start my own with some of my best friends.
Okay.
And today we're one of the largest companies in the United States. Out of 50,000 companies, in the first quarter of this year, the public results are we were the 12th largest company.
Nice.
And we did that in less than 4 years.
Wow. And
Yeah.
how much are you generating per year?
Yeah, so last year our business did $149 million in revenue, and this year we're going to do a lot more than that. So.
What's projected?
When we started the year, we're projected at 300. We might end a little lower than that. But
300?
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
That's what's up, bro. How did you get so good at sales in the beginning, though? Because that's maybe some people want to learn about that.
Everyone I talk to, they're so obsessed with the revenue number, and I always tell them, like, that's cool and that's great.
Yeah.
But what you should be asking me and what people should be knowing is, man, like, why are you doing this?
Right, absolutely.
Like, are you in this for something different? And I always tell people at this point in my career, in my life, it's not about money anymore.
Yeah.
I have the things that I want. My family's taken care of. My parents are retired. They get to travel the world. Every single month they're going to a different country. They have a nice paid off house. They have all the cars they want. Like, I'm taken care of and my family's taken care of.
Yeah.
But that's the selfish desire.
Yeah.
The real desire, the real reason that I'm alive and I work every single day and I put in these long hours isn't for anything materialistic at this point.
Yeah.
When I was a little younger, like a few years ago, I was a lot more materialistic. But at this point in my life, now that I see dudes that just flex their stuff all the time, I have nothing against it.
Yeah.
Like, I understand, I've been in that position. But today, I realize when I wake up, the thing that makes me the happiest is, what am I contributing to society and the economy? So what I love doing is, dude, I love hiring people. I've hired over 1,000 employees at this point, W-2 on salary. I've had over 3,000 sales salespeople over the last few years.
Yeah.
I've worked with 100 different companies that all sell through my company. They're basically like franchises or dealer partners of my company. So I'm impacting tens of thousands of people just directly by writing a paycheck every single week.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
That to me is crazy. I've never done the math, but at minimum, I'm responsible for somewhere between 40 and 50,000 people's life.
Yeah.
Right? So when I'm thinking about that statistic, I'm like, dude, this is insane. And then on top of that, we're partnered with a foundation where every single time I sell a solar system, we're actually donating a decent portion of our profits to an organization. And it's not just like donating to a charity for tax purposes.
Yeah.
We actually send our employees there. So we send our employees to third world countries. I just came from Colombia. We did a video with Mr. Beast's team.
Yeah.
So we have an online collab with them. It's on his YouTube. So it was a really cool project.
Dope. Yeah.
But we go all over. We go to Africa. We go to Asia. We go to South America.
Yeah.
We go to a lot of different places. And the whole idea is you go to a place where they don't have access to power, they don't have access to clean water, they don't have access to food, and every day they're essentially hunters and gatherers. So if they want food, they go out and they kill an animal or they fish for it. They bring it back and they have to eat it right away because they can't store their food. So what we do is we donate a decent portion of our profits and we actually build solar systems and we build, clean water filtration systems, and then we bring Wi-Fi to communities that sometimes go 4 or 5 months without any electricity.
Yeah.
So man, that type of stuff is fulfilling to me because you're actually making an impact, and when you die, people will remember you for that.
Absolutely.
People will not remember you for the that you have. As much as I love my apartment, as much as I love my cars, like, do you really think on my deathbed or when I'm dead and people are at my funeral, they're gonna talk about any one of my cars or my house or anything?
You're right.
They're just gonna remember the person that I was and the impact that I had. So I'm at a point now where I do love money, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll make that very clear. I'm not one of those anti-money people. I think those people are stupid and they've never experienced actual financial well-being. But what I do think money is it's a resource to make you more of who you are. So if you're someone that's selfish and you're greedy and you care about yourself, when you make money, all you're gonna do with that money is take care of yourself.
Yeah.
If you're someone that, man, even if you have $100 in your bank account, but you see a homeless dude and you feel bad for him and you give him $5, you're gonna be a caring person and you're gonna wanna take care of people.
100%, yeah.
And my parents were always that growing up. They had no money, but they still every single month would put aside a little bit of money, even when they were paycheck to paycheck, to donate to the local charities and the churches and the mosques and everything.
And that's where you got it from. Yeah, a lot of people, when they do things for their own monetary gain, it's not really sustainable. It's not really fulfilling. Like I always look at it as like, okay, like, yeah, you can help your family, you can help yourself, you can help your friends, but who are you helping beyond that?
Correct.
Right? And that's what you're doing, bro. And that's, guys, you can learn something from this.
Dude, just when you realize the impact you have, I'll tell you a little quick story. The first ever supercar I got was a red Ferrari. And I was really excited about it. I remember going in it. I took it off from the dealership. I put down the I put down the top. I'm driving this car. I'm like, this is the best feeling of my life. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I go in the car and I'm like, okay, I'm still a little excited, but I'm not the same. And the next day goes by. A few weeks go by, and that thing's sitting in the garage for 2 months, and I'm not even using it. And you just start to realize, like, don't get me wrong, man. I like those things. They're bad. And they're cool, and I have fun toys, and I go on awesome trips, and I have a great time. But I promise you, when you really start to get money, you start to realize it's just a resource and a tool.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you're a person, you're just going to be more of a person. If you're a good person, you're just going to be more of a good person, and you're going to make change. And I'm one of those people that believes there's way too many people today that make a lot of money that are at the top that aren't a positive change or they're a positive influence for good. They're very focused on their self-interest and what's good for them. And I'm a big believer in legacy. I want people to look at me in 300 years and say, that's a guy that actually changed the world. It's not just another dude who took care of himself. I've been on crazy trips out. I was in Italy actually, and I was on a yacht that was a $500 million yacht. And I'm sitting next to the dude that owns it. He's a multi-billionaire many times over. And you look at this dude, and if you looked at him and you saw him in the street, you would never know. Like, you literally would never know. And I know it's like a cliche saying, right? Like, people look at Zuckerberg or Elon Musk and they're like, whatever. Don't get me wrong. All these guys have nice houses and mansions and yachts and cool stuff. but look at them and look at what they're doing and look at their actions.
Yeah.
These guys work every single day. There's no reason that Mark Zuckerberg needs to be working. There's no reason that Elon Musk needs to be sleeping on the floor of a factory.
Yeah.
Literally zero reason. They do it because they realize there is something that is so gratifying about just being able to go there and make a change, help people, and solve big problems.
Yeah. A lot of people that watch, they want to do things for themselves, right?
Well, I'm trying to say it from a perspective of, I've seen some of your videos, right? And I've seen some of the characters and the people, and I know a lot of people who are in those videos and stuff, and it's great, dude. I do not knock any of, other people's mentalities or their visions, right? Like, I was a part of that product. I was very inspired by seeing nice things. Seeing people have jets and cars made it a little bit easier when I was going through the grind and the hustle, knowing that there's something that I could look forward to on the other side. Yeah. But I really wanted to do this video today. I was thinking about it last night and I was like, what's the video that maybe I didn't want to see, but I needed to see? What's the video that I just needed to hear? And the true answer, folks, is you gotta work every single day.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be easy. 99.9% of the stuff isn't pretty. And most of the stuff that you see online is simply a mask.
Yeah.
It's just a mask. And if you can realize that and know, yes, the shit is nice. Yes, it's nice to have a nice house. Yes, it's nice to have a nice yacht. Yes, it's nice to have a nice car. Yes, it's nice to go on awesome vacations. Agreed.
Yeah.
If you can get over that fact, but realize that it will never ever actually get easier, you will just become more comfortable and used to it. You will become successful so much quicker.
Yeah.
If you are just looking for a way out and you're just looking for quick instant gratification and getting something for yourself, you will fail very quickly, and then when you get there, you'll be disappointed with yourself.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if you want to be happy, man, if you want to do something big, if you want to actually drive action and change and results, and you want to inspire people, like, just show up to work every day. Get the job done. Make it happen. Be there for your people, and don't be selfish. Take care of other people.
That's true. Yeah, and it's a great reminder for everyone because, like you said, people are inspired when they see the superficial things, materialistic things. There's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it.
But you're reminding them, like, hey, like, it's bigger than that, because you're gonna get those things eventually, if you're working towards it. But it's like, what's next? Who are you impacting?
And don't get up when you see someone who has the Richard Mille or the Rolex or something like that, that you don't have. I'm gonna give you a crazy story, actually.
Tell me.
My phone's over there. I'll show you guys in a second. This is wild. I'm going to a business meeting in Tampa last week.
Okay.
This is an insane story. I'm wearing a $200,000 watch on my wrist, and I left it in the hotel.
Oh,
I left the hotel and I left the watch in the hotel. Okay? I did not even think about it until I got back home.
Yeah.
I got on a plane, I got back here. The next day, I'm like, oh, yo, remember that watch I was wearing the other day? Where's that? I'm like, oh, wait, where is it? And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I left it in the hotel.
Oh, my God.
So I call up the hotel and I'm like, hey, and I didn't want to say it was too expensive because I almost didn't want to trigger someone to go and find it. You know what I mean? And be like, oh, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, hey, like, I left my watch there. Could you check? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to call you back. They check. Sorry, we don't have anything here. And I'm like, okay, like, I have money, I have things. It's not the end of the world, but it's still a $200,000 watch.
Yeah.
That's someone's house on my wrist, and I lost it in a hotel room, just being irresponsible. I got mad for a little bit, but then I thought to myself, I was like, number one, it's just money. Number two, that's just a sign for me, man. Maybe I needed it at that point. Maybe I needed something. And I'll show you here in a second, but I actually got a call probably like a few hours before you came, and they were just like, hey, by the way, we actually did recover it, and we found it, and we're shipping it to you. So the story of that, though, and the moral of the story was, almost everyone would let that just ruin their day.
True.
And be messed up about it for a few weeks, or just think about it, or blame someone else, or yell at the hotel staff, or get mad. Dude, it took me like 5 minutes to process, and I got over it.
Yeah, and that's
good.
And
as crazy as a thing as that is, and as irresponsible as it is, I'm not like proud of losing a $200,000 watch. It's just a material possession. It's something that maybe if I was wearing right now, you'd look at me and you'd be like, oh, that's really cool. Like, that's what inspires me. But I just want to tell you, man, like, if that's what you're looking at, and if you're comparing yourself to me, I'm 27 years old, I just want to make it super clear. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have that thing. That will become a byproduct of your success.
That's facts.
Just put in the work, dude. Fall in love with what you do every single day and become the best at it, and do not stop. And one day, I promise you, it might not be at 27, but at some point it's gonna pay off. Just put in the work.
Yeah. So someone's watching this, they're inspired already. What's the next step for them if they wanted to have your type of mindset, if they wanted to reach your type of success? What do you tell them? Like, how do they get to that level?
I unfortunately am horrible at relating to someone that just wants to be 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I don't say that in a rude way. I don't say that
honest,
to bring someone down. I just say that in a way of being honest, because I've always been all in, as I told you.
Yeah.
If I'm doing drugs, I'm going all into drugs. If I'm partying, I'm going all into partying.
Yeah.
If I'm doing business, I'm going all into business. And I don't say that to be bad in any way. I have a lot of 9 to 5 people that are amazing that work with me. I'm just saying, out of full authenticity and truth, I am who I am because I went all in.
Yeah.
I am who I am, and I am where I am because I decided to give up vacations. I decided to give up partying. I decided to give up alcohol and drugs and going out and doing all these things that my friends were doing.
Yeah.
I decided to sacrifice, and I took a risk, and I took a shot. And whenever I do anything, whether that's partying, whether that was going out, I was always going all in. And all I had to do was channel my energy from the wrong place to the right place, and being focused on the right thing. So my mentality was, if I'm gonna do something, I don't wanna just sell like sugar water. I'm not trying to just sell like Diet Coke. I'm not just trying to sell like vapes. Again, nothing wrong with that, but I didn't see that as like solving a true problem. Again, like when I die in the grave, are they gonna know me as like the guy that sold the most Cokes? Are they gonna know me as the guy that got people addicted to nicotine and had the most vapes on planet Earth? No, they're not going to know me as that. So I looked into the marketplace and I was like, there's very few industries that actually you can change the world, or very few things that you can do where you can actually drive a change in the world. So I looked at it and I was like, what can I do? Well, at this point, YouTube's becoming big. So I'm like, I could become a YouTuber. I know how to communicate. I've always been a good public speaker. I could hop on YouTube and I could create content of some sorts. Maybe it's comedy, maybe it's a skit, maybe it's motivational, maybe it's business. Then I was like, you know what, but I don't know if I want to do that, but that's definitely a lane. I was like, oh, real estate. I could go and I could buy and sell properties and I could become the next multimillionaire in real estate. Still, it wasn't clicking for me. And I looked at all these different vehicles and opportunities, and when I found solar, I was like, okay, this is something I can actually get behind that's good for the environment. It's good for the people who are actually getting it economically, and it's not politics, right? I'm not talking like the political side. This is not right or left. This is just logic. If I can pull my power from the sun that comes up every single day and not have to dig into the ground instantly, I already have a better solution that's not taken away from planet Earth. If I'm able to save people money doing it, and then if I'm able to employ a lot of people and help people make money and drive towards the economy, I have something that I could do for the rest of my life. So what I would implore everyone to do is, you don't need to find that thing right away. Step one is get really good at working, get really good at building connections, make some money, start to start to stack up cash, start to get ready for some type of investment, and then search for that thing that you really believe in. It doesn't mean that you love it. Okay, and I'm gonna make this really clear. You know, everyone says do what you love. I'm not saying do what you love, because you might really love arts and crafts, but arts and crafts isn't gonna pay the bills. You might really love music, but maybe you're not good enough to be a musician or a rapper. You might really love being a wide receiver, but unfortunately, maybe you're not good enough to be in the NFL. But there is something that you're good at. There's something that you're really good at, and you might not love it at the beginning, but you learn to love something when you go into it and you enjoy the process. And once you enjoy the process and you start going through it, something that used to seem like work becomes a part of your normal day-to-day routine, to the point where, dude, people are always asking me like, oh, it must be so nice living this life. And, you know, they'll hop on my Instagram and see me on trips, or they'll see me on a plane and they're looking at this stuff. And I always tell them, like, no, man, like, that is less than 1% of it. I work harder today than I did at 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old, 21, 22, 23. Every year, I have incrementally grown, and I have actually worked harder, not less.
My G.
Well, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much. Where can people find you? Instagram?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, just at ZaneJan. You can find me on YouTube at ZaneJan too, and on Twitter, I believe it's at ZaneJanOfficial.
For sure. Everybody go check out Zane. Follow
Appreciate
him.
you guys.
Links
Thank
in the
you.
description. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm on a big vibe. Beachside, cool breeze, stroll eyes. Yeah, on this late night, see a little baddie, yeah, she I'ma just say when we try, baby. Leave it all behind on the free mind lately. Good things come around.